Hello guys, I'm finally filming a Q&A, all things related to fitness, wellness, Study 5 Hard, running, Pilates, anything in that realm. I'm answering all your questions I asked you guys on Instagram. Oh, Kobe is here to join us. But I think I'm going to start first with Study 5 Hard because those were probably... I have the most questions in regards to Study 5 Hard. I have a hair mask in, so that's why my hair looks like this, and I have a little silk hair tie-in so my hair does not get damaged. But just ignore the hair. Okay, so Study 5 Hard, if you don't know the rules are follow a diet of your choice, and then a gallon of water every day. Also, I want to preface this by saying that I kind of made it my own. I pretty much followed everything. The only thing that I changed was that a gallon of water for someone my size is just, it's too much water. Like, I was just so water bloated. And then someone had commented on my YouTube video being like, a gallon of water for someone who's 5'5" is like way too much water. Like, have like 2 liters. So I ended up doing, so a full gallon is 120 ounces. I ended up doing like 90 ounces. So I was still drinking way more water than I normally would. And that's really the only thing that I changed. So a gallon of water, and then 2 workouts a day. Both are 45 minutes. One is outside. 10 pages of reading. No cheat meals. No alcohol. And a progress picture every day. And I already didn't drink, so that was easy. Reading, I told myself that I could do fiction or nonfiction, and so I kind of just did whatever I wanted to do. Oh, cheat meals? Yeah, I didn't do any cheat meals. So let's go over my diet, which is... most of the questions were about the diet. I want it to be something that was maintainable and something that wasn't like, I just needed something that I actually could actually do. So I just said high protein, try to eat more protein every meal, and then I also only wanted to eat out like once or twice a week. And when I did eat out, try to eat healthy options. Background, my mom is a registered dietitian, so she went to school for that. And so I kind of called her after a week or so of doing this, and I was like, Mom, like, if I want to get the best results, like, what should I be doing? Like, tell me and I will do it. So she said, you want to have healthy fats, so like avocado, nuts, peanut butter, almond butter, things like that, but you should have lean protein. So I'm just gonna go over the general meals that I made, and I'm also gonna screenshot this so that you guys can have a copy of it. I'll overlay it. It's just breakfast I would eat, lunch, dinner, snacks, and treats that I would eat. So a typical breakfast for me was Greek yogurt. It's specifically the Light and Fit Greek yogurt from Ralph's, which I really like. It has like 14 grams of protein per serving, and then Catalina Crunch cinnamon. So good. It was like a little parfait. Greek yogurt, Catalina Crunch, raspberries, honey, and if I wanted to turn it into a treat or like a late night snack, I would do some chocolate chips with honey drizzled on top, and it was so good. Another variation of that breakfast would just be making it into a cereal version. So I would do almond milk, Catalina Crunch, the cinnamon version, and then I would drizzle over honey, and then sometimes I'd add raspberries. Another like sweet breakfast I would eat is Kodiak cakes. I would just do a half cup of Kodiak cakes with a half cup of almond milk. I would add a few chocolate chips on each pancake, and then I would put a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter on top of each pancake, and then raspberries and honey. So my breakfasts were honestly so good, and high protein, kept me full for a long time. I was satiated. I didn't feel like I was like being restricted in any way. And then a savory breakfast I would eat was 1 egg with a 1/3 cup egg whites, and then 1 chicken sausage cut up. Super good, high protein, low fat, really yummy. Also, I'm the laziest cook. Like, I do not cook, so these are just like the easiest things, and they're quick. Like 15-minute dinners, 15-minute lunches, breakfasts, whatever. Chicken, rice, broccoli, avocado, such a good dinner. I would just go and get rotisserie chicken, and I would just shred it and put it in a little Tupperware and keep it in the fridge, and I'd pull it out and reheat it during the week, and it was just so easy because I am so lazy. Another one was Bonza pasta, or any chickpea pasta. It's high in protein. I'd add chicken and then any sort of sauce you want on top. So sometimes I would do tomato, sometimes I would do like garlicky sauce, and then I'd always make a vegetable with it. Another one I really liked was sweet potato nachos. I would do sweet potato, black beans, ground turkey, hot and sweet jalapenos from Trader Joe's. So good. And then cilantro, Hindsight, I could have added sour cream, but again, I was doing low fat. I could have added like cheese. Again, I was doing low fat. And then I really want to make it and do salsa on top too. And then spaghetti squash. So underrated, so good. If I wasn't feeling like a chickpea pasta, I would make spaghetti squash. And I'd make ground turkey. And then I'd put Trader Joe's like creamy basil pasta sauce on top. So good. And then red pepper flakes. And I usually try to pair every dinner with like broccoli, asparagus, some sort of vegetable, because my mom was like, vegetables, like dark leafy vegetables, they are like free. Don't even like think about it as like calories. Think about it as just free food. Like all the vegetables, you can eat all the vegetables in the world and you'll fill up, and they're so good for you. And they add bulk to your meals. Then another like lunch, I had this for dinner a few times too, but it was like lettuce sandwiches. And it's more of like a leaner, lighter dinner. So if I wasn't super hungry, I'd make this. It's just lettuce wrapped sandwiches. So instead of like bread, I did lettuce. And it was turkey deli meat, pickles, mustard, tomato, hot and sweet jalapenos. My mouth is watering just reading this out. I'm pretty hungry right now, but so good, so yummy. Those hot and sweet jalapenos from Trader Joe's are so freaking good. I would literally make meals just based off like being able to use the jalapenos. And that's how I thought of making sweet potato nachos, was because of these jalapenos. Oh, another thing I would do is if I wanted to make actual chicken, I'd marinate the hot and sweet jalapeno sauce. I use it as the marinade. So just an idea. Snacks, apple nachos. I would use the green apples, like Granny Smith apples. I would drizzle almond butter, peanut butter, chocolate chips, honey, cinnamon is optional, but I like cinnamon on top. It was really good. And you can use like any apple, but I think it's best with Granny Smith because it's kind of tart. I would do deli meat and jalapenos, and I kind of roll it together. It was so good. I would do a snack plate of turkey meat, cheese, pepperoncinis, pickles. I would do sweet potato fries. So good. Or I do normal fries too, kind of depending on my mood. And I would season it with salt, pepper, and garlic, and drizzle a tiny bit of olive oil on top. And oh, so good. I love fries. So that's kind of how I got through, was being able to make my own fries. And then treats, pressed freeze. Every weekend, every Friday, I would go get it pressed. And my mom actually, I sent her like the nutrition facts to the pressed freeze. And she was saying that this is like her take on it. So they use coconut cream. They don't use that in the vanilla, but in the chocolate, the sweet cream, they use coconut cream. And she was saying that coconut cream is more saturated than like butter. And she was like, coconut cream, like while it is like plant-based, like it's actually not better for you, and it's like has a lot of saturated fat in it. And so she was like, well, maybe you should cut out that. If you want to cut that out too, you could. But I was like, no, I want to have one treat. So I ended up having that as like my treat on like the weekends. Better Greens. I have a code, it's not an ad, but I love Better Greens. I think it's Jamie 10. But it was just like a sweet tasting drink. And I didn't say I was gonna cut out soda, but I ended up not being able to drink soda with the amount of water I was taking in. And so the Better Greens powder was just kind of like a treat, and it counted towards my water intake. Coconut water with pulp. While that's not necessarily a treat, was to me. It was so good, and I still drink it. It's very hydrating. It's so yummy. And then if you live near a Mother's, I love the Mother's Aloha Goddess green juice. And again, not really a treat, but I was like spending a lot of money on a greens juice where I had the green powders at home. So it was just like a little splurge. Okay, camera died, so we're on my work phone. So the next thing was I invested in a Ninja Creami. If you don't know what a Ninja Creami is, it's just like a machine that you freeze whatever you want in this cup, and then you put it in the Ninja Creami, and it turns it into like ice cream. So that was quite literally the best purchase I've ever made. It really helped me get through the 75 hard, and I still use it to this day. Kind of pricey. I think it was like $2.50 or something. I would use a chocolate Fairlife protein shake, and I'd freeze it, and then I'd put it in the Ninja Creami, and it turned it into actually chocolate ice cream. And I would put in like some mix-ins like chocolate chips, really good, or I'd use vanilla, and I'd mix in like almond butter or something. And the last thing that I made was, that was like a treat, was the candy salad made out of fruit. Don't get me started on people coming for me on Instagram and TikTok being like, that's called a fruit salad. Like, no duh. Like, I know it's a fruit salad, okay? It's just a play on words. Let's see, more questions. How did you stay motivated? That was a question I got a lot. And I honestly feel like I stayed motivated because I didn't give myself the option to not do it. Like, I woke up every day knowing that I was going to do this and eat these foods and do the workouts, and I didn't give myself an option to like think about maybe not doing it. Like, I was like, nope, I'm doing this. Like, I just didn't give myself the option to think about not doing it, if that makes sense. That's just kind of a character trait of me, is that when I tell myself I'm gonna do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to see it through. Like, I'm not gonna, for lack of a better word, half-ass it. Like, I'm going to do it. Okay, what physical changes did you see in your body? Okay, I posted a before and after on my TikTok, so if you want to go look at that, you totally can. I feel like I just genuinely shed a layer, for lack of a better word. Like, I just feel like I lost a lot of fat and put on a lot of muscle. I wasn't tracking my weight, but like, I could just see from the photos, because I took a photo every single day, that I cut down a lot. I even think within the first 20 days of doing this, I saw a huge difference in my body. So now I know if I ever just need like a reset and like want to look good, I can look good in 20 days. Like, given I'm not too far gone. Like, I went into this just wanting a health reset and to get back in some really good habits that I kind of fallen out of. And I feel like this really, really helped me. I also did it with a few friends, and I think that really helped. We had a group message going on, and we'd send each other photos like after we finished our first workout, after finishing our second workout, and texting when we finished our water. So we just held each other accountable. But by the end, no one was really texting in it, and so it was just like, I was just having to keep myself accountable. What was the hardest thing to do daily on the 75 hard? Honestly, a lot of people say water, but because I just ended up doing what was right for my body and ended up not being too bad, I think the hardest thing was when I wouldn't do a workout in the morning, and so then I had to do 2 workouts at night, and it was just hard to mentally be like, I have to do 2 workouts tonight. But one thing I did was I usually made my second workout be walking, and I would count up, like keep track of all the time walking Kobe outside and taking him out to go potty towards my second workout. So I ended up walking, you know, about, of course, 45 minutes. I had to get 45 minutes, but I just made sure to get those 45 minutes throughout the day. And then I always did Pilates. Like, I did Pilates every single day for 75 days, like, for sure. Minus Stagecoach. When I was at Stagecoach, I just counted, well, one of the days we did pickleball, but I just counted walking all day long at Stagecoach for my workouts, and it definitely counts because we walked like 15,000 steps every single day. Did I feel like restricted, and did I have cravings? Honestly, no. The reason why I didn't was because I never let myself go like anywhere hungry. So I would eat breakfast when I was hungry, which was usually right after my first workout. I would go to Pilates in the morning, and then I'd go home and I'd eat breakfast. When I'd go hang out with my friends, I'd make sure to already have eaten dinner, so I wasn't hungry during it. And if I was craving something, like there are times I was like, oh, I really want In-N-Out, I would just go home and I'd make myself the fries, and it would like curb that craving. I'd be like, that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted fries. And if I wanted something sweet, I'd make the apple nachos, and genuinely the apple nachos, like, I crave them all the time now. Like, now that I'm off 75 hard, I've had my candy, and it doesn't hit the same. Like, I genuinely am like, I think I like the apple nachos more. It's just really, really strange how now I'm going back to these old foods. Like, last night I had a burrito from Sancho's, and I was like, this kind of makes me feel gross. Like, it doesn't taste as good as I remember it tasting. Like, it just doesn't taste as good. And it's like my body is just wants the food that it's used to. And I don't know, it's really strange, but I like it. Do I feel like it's sustainable, and will I be able to keep my body like the way that it is? And honestly, yes, because before the 75 hard, I kind of fallen out of my habits, which was typically eating like this. When I got Kobe, I kind of was so busy that I wasn't able to just eat the way I normally eat and exercise the way I normally exercise, which I don't normally exercise twice a day, but I normally get at least one good workout in and eat pretty clean and eat from home. And when having Kobe as a puppy, I got in the habit of like going out to eat and like not having my fridge stocked with the foods that I need to eat and want to eat. Yeah, I just feel like I'm back in my healthy habits of eating from home for most meals and letting eating out be a social thing. And honestly, you save tons of money eating at home, so long as you're not buying like the most expensive foods at the grocery store. Example of what to eat in the day would look like. I showed you guys all the meals, but it would be like the egg, a third cup egg whites. I would make like apple nachos and sweet potato fries and call that lunch, which is just like lazy girl lunch. I didn't have time to make lunch, and then maybe I also have like some deli meat with it. And then I'd have dinner and I'd make the bonza pasta and I would make sweet potato fries and broccoli, and oh, so good. And then also something I started to incorporate was a tea. I love this tea from, let me look it up. Ugh, if you like cinnamon, you'll love this tea. One of them is called Sweet and Spicy Original from Good Earth. Oh, it's called the Bengal Spice. The Bengal Spice tea I'd make with almond milk, and then I'd put some like honey in it. It is like dessert. It is so good. I have it every night before bed now. I look forward to it every night. So I kind of started to have a night routine, which was like tea to help me wind down. And while the tea was like steep, I think, I would go do my skincare, and by the time I got back, it was ready to go. And then I'd go get in bed, I'd drink my tea and watch a show, and then go to sleep. It was super nice. Do you feel like it worsened your relationship with food? Honestly, at times, yes. At times, I feel like I was like, not that it worsened my relationship, but I was afraid that once it ended, I wouldn't be able to like go to In-N-Out and get a burger and not feel bad about it. Like that's what my fear was, is that I wouldn't be able to go back to being able to eat like 80-20. Like I believe in eating 80-20, 80% healthy, clean, and 20% splurge. Eat what you're craving, like eat what you want. And I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to go back to that balance. And it's been fine. Like once I finished, which I finished a week ago, I went and got Truly Pizza, and I had like I don't know, 3 slices. And then I was so happy, and I honestly feel like it's better for me to be this way. Like eat what I want, when I want, then eat from home and eat healthy the rest of the time. So that's been super nice. And I feel like it didn't worsen my relationship. I don't think it's sustainable to be able to eat like 100% clean all the time. And it's not fun. Like, it's not fun to be out with your friends and be like, oh, I already ate at home. Like, that's not fun. But I did it, and I'm glad I did it. There's a lot of questions about running. So let's go to the running questions. And there's Pilates questions. People want to know what workouts I follow when I do at-home Pilates. And I really hate to break it to you guys, but when I do at-home Pilates, I'm just making it up on my own. So that being said, I feel like I want to maybe make a program at some point, like make a 4 or 6 week program of Pilates workouts for at home with like minimal equipment. Now let's go to running. Oh, also during this 75 hard, I was only running like once a week, which I know I just ran a marathon, which is kind of stupid, but I would only run once a week on Saturdays, and I would do my long runs with my friend Camille. Like she would be doing a long run and I would just join her for it. And I'm at a point with running where my body can just do a long run on the weekends and not have to keep up running during the week, which I'm kind of lucky. I think I ran like 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 20, and then I ran the marathon. But I mostly just walked. Top running accessories. Okay, the Lululemon running belt, the Fast and Free belt, that is something that I use a lot. The anti-chafe stick by Summery brand, I use that a lot. AirPods, I'm just an AirPods girly. My Aloe sunglasses, I really do love those for when it's a sunny day. My New Balance 1080 V13. I use the Cliff energy blocks, which they're being discontinued, so I bought them in bulk off Amazon. I feel like that's it. I love Lululemon energy bra. That's the bra that I always wear to run. I really like the Aeroswift Nike shorts, some shorts off Amazon. I have a bunch of these things linked on my Like to Know It, so if you ever want to know what I'm using for running, go to my LTK, it's all in there. Favorite running shorts? It's tough. I honestly think the Nike Aeroswifts. I don't really love running in shorts. Like, I've recently been running a lot in leggings and been liking wearing leggings for whatever reason. I don't really know. And then my long distance running belt is by Amphipod, and it's like the I think it's called like Highlight running belts by Amphipod. It doesn't fit an iPhone, which kind of sucks, but I'm used to holding my iPhone anyways because I vlog and take photos, so I'm always holding it. How do you balance Pilates, the gym, running? Do you follow a certain program? I don't. One thing, if you've followed me for a long time, you know that I really advocate for just doing like what you're into, what you're feeling in the moment. So I don't force myself to run. I don't force myself to go to Pilates. I don't force myself to walk. It's really just whatever I'm feeling. And right now, I'm kind of on like a running low. I feel like in a few months, I'll probably be like, I want to get back to running and I'll run more. But I really just think that, at least for me, like I get over things pretty quickly. I'll always have running in my back pocket as an option for a workout, but I really like to try new things. I really like bar, I like Pilates. I like to weightlift sometimes, even elliptical, I like the treadmill. There's a lot of things that I like, a lot of activities. I like to hike. Just a lot of things I like to do to stay active. I don't think that, like, I'm just not like a one workout kind of girl. Like, I get burnt out of it too quickly if I do one thing. And Pilates is the only thing, honestly, that I have not gotten burnt out of. I did it for 75 days straight, and I want to keep doing more, and I want to get certified eventually. How to get better at distance? I want to train for my first half marathon. Backstory, I didn't really like ever use a training plan when I got into running. I just kind of started. So I'll just say what worked for me, and that was, I started on the treadmill. I try to run for 5 minutes and then walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, and I do that for an hour. That's kind of how I started. And then I started to run outside, and I figured that running outside was like so much easier for me. So I would just run, and if I was getting tired of running, I would slow down a lot and I would jog like really, really slow. And I would go back and forth between like jogging really slow and like running at a little more of a faster pace. And so then eventually, it increased my endurance because it was just, I was spending more time on my feet, more time running, and then eventually it just led to running longer distances. And then to get faster, I didn't know what I was doing, but I went on the treadmill and I would put it at 7.0 miles per hour, and I would just force myself to go start at 7.0 and increase by like 0.1 or 0.2 every 10 minutes, and I'd run for an hour. I got off the treadmill and started running outside again. And when I started running outside, I ran through something called the Provo Canyon, which is in Utah, and it's pretty downhill. And I got really, really fast. Like, I think I went from running like a 9-minute mile to end up running like a 7:30 mile, like 7-minute mile. And I ran my first half marathon at like a 7:30 pace, or not my first, my second half marathon at a 7:30 pace. Now what I do to get faster is very different from back then. Back then I would just force myself to get faster and just force myself to like kill myself to be faster. But now I do interval training. So I will run at a comfortable pace and then push for 2 minutes and then go back to running. And so I'll run, push, run, push, run, push. And that helps you get faster and helps you also like not burn out. At least for me. Favorite meal the night before race? Always Italian. Whether it's pizza, pasta, always Italian. Okay, what's your biggest tip for staying motivated, disciplined to run consistently? Again, like, I feel like I'm not the right person to ask this, because I'll tell you, like, if you don't feel like it, don't. I really feel like just stay active. If you're not in the mood to run, go for a walk. Like, whatever it is, like, just go move your body. Like, it doesn't have to be running. If you're not in the mood that day to go running, like, go for a walk and, like, put on your running clothes, but just go walk. And like, while you're out there, you're probably gonna get bored of walking and you'll wanna go jog. So I'm just a huge advocate for just move your body. Best ways to train your heart rate I want to say also interval training. I also think it comes with just time, like building your endurance. Like you're going to be like, feel like you're exerting like so much, and then your body's gonna get used to it as you just keep going and keep training. How do you stay consistent with your fitness while balancing your life? I'm fortunate enough to be working from home and I'm self-employed, so I base my routine and my structure of my days around my workouts. I find structure by my workouts, and it's been like this ever since I started social media full time. So I'm really lucky. Whereas my friends who they work 9 to 5s, I commend anyone who works a 9 to 5 and does a 75 hard, because that is so hard. Or just like is super into fitness and works 9 to 5, because you only have between hours of 5 to 9 to get your workouts in. And if you're training for a marathon, like you got to do it before work or after work. And that is not easy. Like you got to get up early or you got to be up late. Like, anyways, so for the girls who are working 9 to 5s, because I used to work 9 to 5, believe it or not, I did work 9 to 5, and it was really hard and wasn't for me. And I think for most people it's not for them, but you know, they don't have a choice. Someone's got to pay the bills. I had to do it in the morning, or else after work I was just too burnt out and too tired, and the field of work I was in was not fulfilling for me. I ended up not doing it, obviously. So I left work drained. And for my friends who work 9 to 5s, they got one workout in the morning, one workout after work. And their after work workout was usually a walk, or they would walk during their lunch break. So those are some ideas. Do you get bored of running long distances? No, I get bored of running short distances, which sounds backwards, but I don't want to go for a run unless it's going to be like a super long run. It's just like there's no thrill to me. I love feeling so exhausted after a run. Marathon training plan. I always make my own marathon training plan. I can share with you guys and insert a picture right here of the training plan that I made Camille. And if you look on Google, I literally have always made my own plans. I just Google 12-week marathon training plan or 16-week marathon training plan. I would just look at them, take inspo from them, and make my own, because it's really not that deep. Like, you just want to make sure. And my mom was a big marathon runner growing up, so she kind of helped me, and she was like, as long as you're getting your long run in on the weekend, you're fine. Like, just get your long run in, and then you know for a fact you'll be able to do race day. And then obviously taper down like 2 or 3 weeks before race day. How did I get into fitness? I think it really helps having a mom who's always taken really good care of herself. So naturally, that's been my example. And I also think that I was always in sports growing up. And so once I kind of was out of my sports, I noticed changes in my body because I wasn't working out anymore. And I was like, uh-oh, I cannot eat a sleeve of Oreos and look the same as I used to. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to start working out on my own, conditioning my body, and eating a little more clean. That was in high school. I didn't really find a workout I liked in high school. I just kind of would go to my parents, like, they had a little gym downstairs, and I would go in there and I would, like, you know, do some ab workouts, some, I don't know, arms, and I would, like, go for, like, a 20-minute run, and that was pretty much all I would do. And the mindset was sheerly because I wanted to look good. It wasn't necessarily because I wanted to, like, feel good. It was just, like, noticing body changes and not liking them, you know? But then when I went to college, I actually fell in love with running. And then I was not tracking running as, like, a way to look good. It was just because I wanted to be faster. I wanted to go a longer distance. And the end result of getting into running was getting leaner and looking really good and being really fit. And for me, that ended up just being like a bonus. Do you ever beat yourself up for eating terrible over a few days span? I think that's normal to be like, ugh, like I don't feel great after eating tons of junk or whatever. But I always tell myself that, like, eating junk for a day isn't gonna, like, make a big difference. Like, I can eat clean tomorrow and it's not gonna make a big of a difference on the grand scheme of things. Like, you know, food is my happiness. So yeah, when I eat those good foods that are, like, whatever, deemed bad, like, I'm not gonna dampen the experience by being like, oh, I feel guilty now. Like, I have gotten to this point, which I was not always this way, where I can compartmentalize being like, okay, tonight I'm eating ice cream, but like tomorrow for breakfast I'm eating clean. It just balances out. Like, it just all ends up balancing out. So 3-day bender of like eating bad and whatever, drinking whatever, like isn't gonna make a difference of like the rest of the month eating clean or like eating 80-20. Like, it, for me, so long as it rounds out as being about 80% clean, 20% garbage, you know, then I'm fine. And if it's those 3 days in a row, that's fine. Like, ultimately it's gonna balance out. And that's kind of the mindset I have now, but was not always that way. People just want to know how to run like longer distances, and I think running is the biggest thing. If I were to start over tomorrow, this is what I would do. I would tie up my shoes, put in my AirPods, cue up a good playlist, I'd get out the door, and I'd tell myself I'm running 2 miles because I mentally know I can, but like maybe for someone else it's like running half a mile. But what I would do is I'd start with what I know I can do, what I know I can run, and I would add to it. So for me, that's 2 miles. So I would go out the door, run 2 miles, and I'd run 2 miles like 3 or 4 days a week. And then after a week of running, or a week or 2 of running 2 miles, I'd add on a mile, or I'd add on half a mile. And I would just incrementally add more mileage. And then I would start to add in a longer run during the week. So once I get to like 4 miles, I'd be like, okay, like I'm gonna add, like on Thursdays, I'm gonna do a long run, and I would do like 5 miles. And then once I get to like 5 miles, my long run might be 8 miles. And once I get to, it's just like marathon training, honestly. But if I were to start from 0, like some of you might be starting from 0, I would do maybe half mile Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday or something. Do a half mile run. And if like you have time for it, add on some walking. So if you really wanted to start with getting mileage, I would do a half mile running, then walk a mile, then add on a half mile, and then walk another mile. So if you wanted to do like, I don't know, 4 miles of running, or 4 miles, but you know you can only run a half mile, I would start by walking a mile, then I would run a half mile, and then I'd walk another half mile, run a half mile, walk a half mile, and then walk another mile. So you're only running a mile, but break it up. So pretty much what I'm saying is break up running and walking. Start with run walking. Whatever you can do, do it. That's what I say. I always just think, get out there and try. If it's only a half mile, it's only a quarter mile, that's fine. As long as you're out there trying, you're going to get better. Like, that's just how bodies are. You're going to be able to do more than a quarter mile one day. So just start and you will get there, I promise. I don't have any other questions, but I'm just gonna end with saying that I just believe in everything in moderation when it comes to food and when it comes to working out. Like, I don't think that it's realistic to run every single day of your life and run like high mileage. At least not for me. I want my body to be good well into my 50s and 60s, and I just know that if I run every single day, I'm going to have worn down my knees, my meniscuses, and it's not going to be a good situation for me. So I just believe in moderation in running, moderation in Pilates, moderation in walking, moderation in your food, everything, just balanced. Just balance everything. Treat your body with kindness, because like, you only have one body. You only have one body. You do not want to damage it. You don't want to be mean to it. And generally, just staying active and feeling your body is all you need to do. And it's genuinely all you can do. So I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A on all things fitness, wellness, 75 hard, running, etc. Bye.